Okay, so I decided to do my little video bloggy thingy here about a milestone that happened yesterday for me, and we'll call it my PTSD saga. So, as everybody knows, I've been a medic for a while, been in EMS for a long while, and seen some pretty gnarly crap in this career. Anybody who's been around long enough has. Only over the last couple of years did I start running some really just gnarly calls that were, give you nightmares. And turns out that over all this time and all the years past, I had just been compiling these calls over and over and putting them away in my little black boxes in my brain and not thinking about everything. But apparently I ran out of storage space for all my little drama type of occurrences and just bad things that I had seen and encountered, that it started to overflow and manifest. And after a few bad calls over the last few years, it came to light that I do suffer from PTSD. Only when I start having these issues do I really recognize it. And the point of what I'm going to talk about real quick is how you can manage all of this if you get the proper counseling and the proper resources and the proper help. Can't just ignore everything and just shut it away and say, nah, it's cool, I'm good. After a while it builds and then it manifests, and then you have a fucking volcano of emotions and you become a blob on the ground of emotions. So, backstory real quick. A few years ago, and I'm going to omit a lot of things because, of course, we're not going to have our HIPAA stuff. HIPAA's bad. Okay, so a few years ago, I got called out to a parking structure for a possible jumper. If anybody read my blog a few years ago, this is the one called The Jumper. So we get there, and I got my crew, I got my partner, I have a trainee, and I'm in the back, so I have no idea what's going on because they're training stuff up front. I get out of the ambulance, there's I can't talk. Stroke signs. PD everywhere. I see the engine crew, they're all staring around. I'm like, going, what's going on? And then I look behind me, and we got this dude sitting at the top of the parking structure about 7 stories or so up, and he is not in a good place. Let's just put it that way. He's not in a good place. We were all afraid he was going to fall or jump or something, and it was going to be bad, but we didn't know or didn't have the resources at that point in time to put up the big air mats or anything like that. So everybody was trying to figure out, what are we going to do? Fast forward about 5 minutes, and as I'm sitting there talking to my crew, just happened to turn around and look at this guy sitting up there. Because keep in mind, I'm only probably about 15 yards away, maybe, from him. And I turn around and look up, and he lost his balance. And I watched this person fall 7 stories from the parking structure. And the thump that I heard haunted me for a while. Let's just put it that way, haunted me for a while. It's a sound I'll never forget. We got over there to him within seconds, and he was still alive, technically. His heart was still beating, but nothing had caught up to the damage that had just happened. And he was face down, and he looked like he was sleeping. Now, the part that really just started fucking with my head pretty good, aside from that sound I'll never forget, is I got to him first, and when we flipped him over, the head trauma on him was... It's hard to even describe that. But he still had a pulse. So what do? We do everything that we can. We all knew that he was not ever going to make it. There was too much damage, but since he still had a pulse, and then very promptly lost a pulse, we started doing what we do. Started our CPR. I tried getting my airway, all kinds of stuff. It was a mess. We finally got the pronouncement to call him at scene, and that's when the whole crew basically broke down. We're hugging each other and all kinds of stuff. It was bad. It was really bad. So I wasn't doing great afterwards. I called it a day, started to go home, tried to talk to our critical incident guy a little bit, and there's where my journey started. I was having nightmares. I was having auditory just memories, I guess you could say. Every time somebody dropped a book around me, I jumped. Okay, fast forward to last year. I could not go to this parking structure for months without having an anxiety attack. I couldn't go anywhere near it. Couldn't go within 2 blocks of it or I'd have a panic attack. And it took me a while, getting closer and closer and closer. Finally got to a point where I went up into the parking structure from where he fell and managed to tackle that demon. And then after that, I was finally able to go back to where he landed and not have a panic attack. These took months. But it was the counselors that I finally got a hold of. Somebody hooked me up with a critical incident stress trauma counselor. She's for trauma. Oh my God. It was amazing. She was able to get my brain sorted, so to say, to where I could understand things and I could see things. And I was able to cut off the emotion part and look at the logic part of everything. So, yesterday, we go to the same parking structure. I didn't realize it until we got there and my partner parked. And I was just kind of in medic mode, where's the patient, whatever. I got out of the ambulance and it just triggered, I know this place. And I got out and I looked around and I went, holy shit. I was standing right under where this guy fell. I didn't have a panic attack. I started walking, turned around, looked back at the ambulance. My partner, who knew my trauma, had parked the ambulance over what I called the landing zone for a year, 2 years. Because when I went back almost a year later, there was still a mark on the ground. He parked over it so that I wouldn't have to see it. Thank you. I didn't have a panic attack. I mean, it got a little edgy, but I was able to go up in the parking structure, get my patient, take care of the call, come back to the ambulance and whatever. And it was awesome, that feeling of, wow, I can do this. I'm not gonna continue to let the stress that I went through and the panic and the trauma of witnessing that run me. So that was my milestone. I'm like, yes, finally getting to a point where I don't have to worry if I'm gonna go into a panic attack every single time something triggers one of these bad call memories. Moral to the story, because this thing's getting long and winded and I don't want to talk anymore. Don't bottle so much shit up, okay? We have to let it out, but try and let it out where you can do something with it. Talk to your friends, talk to your coworkers. You know what, honestly, I'd say try and talk to your EAP if you got it at work, but these companies, they don't have the right resources. So keep hunting, keep looking, keep talking to people. Write it out. Do what I do. Make a damn video. Because I didn't really feel like writing all of this shit. Something that gets it out in the open and off your chest and relieve some of that stress. Because when you get to that point, when you're not scared anymore, you're not scared of what's going to happen, you're not scared of an anxiety attack, you're not scared if you're going to get so clouded with emotions and memories that you're not going to be able to do your job or something like that. It is amazing. Fabulous. So, anyways, that's my spiel for the day. I just stress and always work on getting that help if you need to. Don't bottle that stuff up because it's going to overflow. Life's too short. We have so much to do. So much to do. Don't let it get to you. Get the help that you need. There is hope.